Good morning, everybody, and this is your Forex day trade setups for today, the 5th of January. So, a couple of contrasting setups here. So, on the indexes, we have some setups for moves to the upside, and typically when that happens, you would expect Euro USD to follow suit. But what we are seeing here is a break of structure, and that's this area here. You can see it's not an exact science because we've got those attempts there, and we've got all these attempts to find support above it, and now we have pin bar, range bar, and what's looking like a pin bar forming. Oscillators are not working with us though, so this is looking like a rejection of this area on the 8 hour. If we drill down to the 1 hour, first thing, when you see that kind of structure in amongst the moving averages on a level, I have zero interest in trading that. You can see there is also a crossover here. So this is also looking like some kind of a break to the downside. I'm going to want to see a lot more than what I'm seeing here. So this chaos here is actually meaningless to me. So I'm going to want to see a decent breakdown and a decent retest for me to even start considering anything to the downside, and at the same to the upside. And what I would do is look at that area there. I need a breakout of this zone. So I need a break above 106366 or a break below 105815 before I start looking at this pair. So I am sitting quietly until we get out of this moving averages. So we just need to get out of the moving averages, find support or resistance, and then we can pick a direction. So that's sit on hands. Moving on to US dollar Japanese yen. We had some structure to the upside that we were paying attention to that has given way. Now we need to just move this up and look for the next bit of structure, and then ignore this one at the moment because we have ignored it, and there's another clear one obviously over there. So right now we need to get above this high here. Let's just put a level in there. So for us to reverse direction, because the trend is down at the moment, we need to form a base above 134.509. So that is not in play at the moment. And then we've got these two areas that we were looking for rejection for a continuation of the downside. That's 133.631 and 132.637. If we look at the hourly chart, you'll see clear break above moving averages and a retest of the 155 here this morning. So this could very well be a setup to the upside that is brewing. Right now, I think if you do get above 132.637, you need to pay attention to these next two levels, which would be your target, or at least this level here, which is 133.631. Kind of a mixed bag at the moment. Really mixed bag because bigger time frame trend is down, and it does look like we have something forming here, but I'm not entirely convinced either. So I'm sitting on hands. I think I'll just wait this one out until we get a collaboration between the 1 hour and the 8 hour, and we're on the same path. Moving across to the pound, British pound, Japanese yen. Similar kind of setup. We were paying attention to this area here. Didn't materialize. We broke through it, no structure, and now we're forming a bit of structure here. Bear in mind we do have this. Just move this down. We do have this area here which we need to get above on the 8 hour for the trend to reverse. At the moment the trend is down. So what we're looking for is structure, and it's the exact same setup as on US dollar Japanese yen. So 8 hour trend is down, but whereas this is looking like a flag for another move up. I suppose London breakout strategy would work fairly well. First 8 1 hour bars, break to the upside, then long it is. You have to get your stop below the swing low of this morning. We do have not a crossover yet, but they have separated. So there's a fairly good chance that this is going to move up. And by the looks of things, solid move yesterday, bit of a pullback, another solid move. Look, we're looking for 162.355, but every single tail here from this point onwards, which is 169.55, is going to offer resistance. So Could be a short-lived move, or it could, be accelerate through depending on what happens. I'm just a little bit reluctant because what we're seeing here is not in line with what I'm seeing on the indexes. So I'm a little bit cautious. Anyway, I think for me, I'm also going to wait for better confirmation on what's going on here. There could be an early signal here, but I'm not convinced. Lastly, moving on to Euro British Pound. And this one is not really doing anything. We are in an uptrend, as you can see. It does look like we're trying to build a base. We've got inside bar and engulfing bar forming. Moving averages are to the downside, and if we look to the left, there is structure here. There's quite a bit of structure to the left. You can see there, there, there. That was fairly close, another fairly close one, and then some support here. So we've got some structure here which would be interesting to see what happens. And the ideal thing to see would be what happens on the hourly. And for this one, we need to get back above 0.88199, find support there for a move to the upside. You can see the moving averages are crossed over to the downside. So could be an early signal for a move to the downside. But if you look at those two levels, that is your range. So obviously from an hour perspective, we start breaking below, I just fine tune this. So we start breaking below 0.87841, that is continuation down. If we start breaking above 0.88199, it is a continuation to the upside. So yeah, in summary, I'm a little bit cautious with Forex at the moment, and I'm also very cautious on the indexes because they're not working together, and they normally do work together. So they're kind of diverging into different setups, which is always a concern because in my experience, there's always some kind of an explosive move that materialize, or some big world event that suddenly is the catalyst to drive the markets in a direction. So I'm a little bit cautious with what I'm seeing at the moment. It could just be because we're still in sort of holiday mode for a lot of the traders, and we're only going to get back into this next week. But nevertheless, I'd rather be a little bit cautious. And based on what I saw yesterday, look at all these tails here. No real direction. We are trapped in this range. So I'm going to treat it as a range, not even going to bother trying to second guess it, and which means I will sit quietly and wait. Anyway, that's kind of my view today. Hope it helped somewhat, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.